Hello, my little yarnivores and spiderettes and bookworms and movie lovers. Let's chit chat. Right now, I'm just balling up some yarn. It's one thing that I know I can do whilst chit chatting with you. Nobody's on yet, but that's not surprising. I didn't announce today. But I thought it would be fun to touch base anyway and say hello and what's going on. And oh, hello, Veronica. Hello, Grace. How you doing? How's everybody doing? Hi. Hi. Also, I must warn you that, oh, hello, Ginger and Peaches. Um, Granted, yes, the typical sort of problems with my Wi-Fi may arise. But also, right now, I had, oh, hi, Ross. How you doing? I had another bit of a difficulty today. My tripod broke. Yes, it's being held together with masking tape at the moment. So if all of a sudden it collapses, I might need to cut this short. Um, um, Virginia, my name isn't Mikey, it's Craig, but that's okay. How you doing? Um, hello, Jackie. How you doing? Oh, you guys are so great. Oh, I didn't expect so many people on so quick. I didn't announce this. By the way, is the lighting and the sound okay? Is everything groovy? Hi, Barb. Hi, Lisa. Yes, I know I need duct tape. Actually, funny story. For a long, long time, through my senior year of high school and all through college, my nickname was Ducky. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and well, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the movie Pretty in Pink, but back in high school, believe it or not, I used to have big hair, um, and my nickname was Ducky. Pretty in Pink, but I spelt it with a Y, not with an IE. Just a little fun fact. Um, and Hey, Deborah, which shawl did you almost finish? Because I've put up so many shawls, I can't keep track of them anymore. I always find it so ironic that before this channel, um, hi Esther. Um, Before this channel, I never did any shawls, um, and now it's sort of like my go-to type of project because they're sort of like scarves with a. You finished the diamond one. Ooh, I love that diamond one. That one was so much fun to make and it was so easy. I had a blast with that one. And actually, this week, I was super busy as per usual. So you've done the virus shawl and the blanket. Ooh, oh, thank you. Um, that's okay, Virginia. Um, Whatchamacallit. So I've been really busy this week. Then again, you know me, I'm always, always busy. Have I ever worked a corner to corner? I've done a corner to corner scarf. I never did a corner to corner blanket, especially like one of those where it's like all plotted out with specific doodads and so forth. Let's see. NCIS with John Cryer was on, and he says to Ducky, what did that say? Hang on. And he says to Ducky that things were Ducky. Too funny. Yeah, I loved Ducky from that movie. I absolutely loved Pretty in Pink. All of those movies, actually. Breakfast Club. Now that I loved Breakfast Club. I used to watch that like every day for a long, long time. Um, if any of you have seen The Breakfast Club, which of the detention members do you identify with? Um, Either say it now or say it in the comments section. Me, I would say I identified with a cross between two characters. Um, and I would like for you to guess right now which of those two characters do you think that I identified with right now. Let's see, we got Molly, great movie. It is a great movie. I've seen it probably more than 100 times easily. When I watch a movie and I like it, I watch it to oblivion. I just watch, 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 watch. Um, I would say I identified between the basket case and the brain. Sort of a half and half. You're working a queen size corner to corner. Go you, Amy. Go you. Um, oh, thank you, Rosangela. Thank you. Um, I definitely identified between the basket case and the brain because the brain because James, thank you so much. Thank you for your donation. That will definitely help towards my new tripod. Yes. That will definitely help. Hi, Joey. Um, yeah, I was saying before, my tripod broke and I had to order a new one. The one that I have right now, it's being held together with tape, so hopefully it won't crash midstream. We'll see. Um, and also, by the way, since I'm mentioning it, um, let me see here. Yes, a big thank you to James and to Russell for your donations last time when I did a live stream. Thank you so very, very much. I appreciate it. Um, and you know, like I just said, I had to order a new tripod. This one, it's it's only on two legs pretty much at the moment. One of them's being held together with masking tape. Um, so actually, yes, if you would be inclined to make a donation in the super chat down below, that would really help me. It's not for yarn, it's for for the tripod. I already ordered it. Hopefully, it should. Yes, it's a bipod, exactly. Good one, Pamela. Um, yeah, it should be here on Sunday, but I do want to film another tutorial between now and then, so it's going to be kind of tricky. Um, oh, it's going to be tricky, but you know what? I did actually film a tutorial earlier today in spite of that, and I managed, sort of. I mean, the angle could have been better. I always try to do my best for you guys. Um, but yeah, how's gonna give you a sneak peek. um, the tutorial that I did shoot is for this piece right here, which I love giving you guys sneak peeks. Love giving you guys sneak peeks. This is a super duper easy scarf shawlette, if you will, by Purple Iguana on I have done the crocodile stitch. Love that stitch, but it's a bit of a yarn hog. Um, so this is by Purple Iguana on Ravelry, and I am going to post the tutorial that I did for this probably later on tonight. It's all filmed. I think it's still in the process of uploading right now. It's a process, but this, it's not so much of a shawl, it's more of a shawlette because it doesn't go down very far. It's very long, but it does not go down very far. So it's more of a scarf slash shawlette. So, if you drape it and so forth, it's, I want to say, midway down my back right now. However, what you can, of course, also do is have it in the front and drapey and drapey, and you have yourself a really lovely, lovely scarf slash shawlette. Absolutely love it. And of course, if you don't like these little fiddly bits in the front, you can always sort of tuck them in, and there you go. No problem. So if you're worried about them getting all like tangled and whatnot, no problem. So this one, really, really, really simple. And of course, I will put a link to the pattern in the description box once I have it up and ready. Very, very simple. Love this project. Now, this one actually I did with, it was Red Heart Unforgettable, I believe. Not cheap, unfortunately. No, the yarn itself is not cheap, but the colorway is gorgeous. I think it's called Echo, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and so you're from Brookhaven, Mississippi. Funny, I've got a Brookhaven, nearby, but on Long Island. So yeah, this yarn is not cheap, unfortunately. It took about 2 skeins. Aw, Nikki. Oh, I'm unforgettable. You're so sweet. um, so I wanted to get 2 skeins because I wanted to make sure that I had enough. Um, and I really love the texture. I love, love, love the colorways of this yarn. The only thing is it's very fibrous. So if you ever make a mistake and you need to backtrack and you need to rip out some stitches, it's a beast. So that really deters me from using this kind of yarn. Also, like homespun, shawl in a ball, same thing, same problem, where the texture is gorgeous when it's a finished product, but when you're working on it, it can be very difficult. It can be very difficult. Um, but your hubby going to hang with my Spidey. uh, um, well, it doesn't have a border on the top edge, but the bottom edge, I love, love, love because the pattern creates the border as you're stitching it. So absolutely in love with that aspect. Um, so that's one of the tutorials for this weekend because I try to do 2 tutorials per weekend if I can. I always try. Sometimes I even succeed, so I do try. The other shawl, oh my, this took me so long. How many packs of yarn? I had to use about two skeins of the Unforgettable for that piece. Although you can make it however big you want to, but I felt that 2 worked for me. Now, the other shawl, this has been an ongoing project for a very long time because it was an on again, off again, on again, off again kind of project. It was in my WIP, my work in progress pile for a very long time, let me tell you. Ah, excusez-moi. Gotta have some coffee. um, Drinking coffee, always. Always, always coffee. Half and half, sugar, love it. Um, So with and I see what hook. All right, with the hook size for that one, it was a size J. The yarn is a little bit thin, but because it's a little foofy, you don't want to constrict the foof on that yarn. Um, so this other project took me a long time to do because one, it's knitting. Two, uh, it's very it's a very, I want to say it's not a dense fabric, but there aren't a lot of lacy eyelets to it, so it takes a long time to do. Um, so this piece I did in Karen Cakes, and I love how it came out. What do you think? It could be a little bit more rounded. All right, why did I all of a sudden not go in focus? All right, I'm totally out of focus. Why? Why? There we go. So this shawl took me a long time to do because knitting inherently takes longer um, to make because, well, it's knitting. If you did this in crocheting, I did something very similar to this actually in crochet. It was called I think the sort of half circle shawl. Um, and so this one really actually quite simple. It's only a 4-row repeat. The shawl that I showed previously, it's only a 2-row repeat ultimately, which is even easier. Um, so this one, really, really simple. I think it took about 2 skeins of the Karen Cakes. As always, you guys know, I am not sponsored, but if you ever want to duplicate the results, you can. And so this one, it's worked from the top here, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you are going to want some really long circular needles because all of your stitches are held on the perimeter edge of the bottom. So you need some long ones. But Join Illuminati. Hey, freaky geek. So for this, actually, even though it's a worsted weight yarn, and they say the recommended is a size 8 on the label, I use a size 10 because I like it to have a lot of nice flowy drape. Um, you're doing the Arbor Shawl, Bellin Oz? Aw, and the Cloister too. Oh, very nice. So yeah, I used a size 10 needle for this. I want to say, whoa, Vicky, thank you so much. Thank you so very, very, very much, Vicky. I appreciate the donation. That's so sweet of you. That's really going to help me with getting my new tripod. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate your super chat donation. Um, so actually, when you start off, start with this, I had to tweak the pattern because the pattern gave me the incorrect number of stitches to cast on, which was rather irksome. So I had to tweak it. And it's only 7 cast on stitches. Okay. Okay. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Sorry. Hi, Lorna. Sorry about the technical difficulties. So yeah, I had to alter this pattern a little bit because it initially said to cast on, I think it was 8 stitches, but actually it's 7. Otherwise, if you start off with 8, you end up with an extra one of these blocks here, and it wouldn't be flat at the top, and that's what I wanted. So at any rate, I had a lot of fun with this. Again, it was very simple to do because it's only a 4-row repeat, really not bad. So, yeah, I'm going to show this as well. If, of course, I can... That's okay, Sherry. Sherry. That's okay. Better late than never. Um, so, if my tripod, as it is right now, isn't too much of a problem, I will try to post the tutorial on this for this weekend as well. And the pattern, actually, I found on... It was Pinterest. And I had to tweak it somewhat, but it totally worked. Excuse me for 1 second. There we go. Pardon me. So at any rate, Amanda, you've done 7 of my shawls. Wow. Actually, I do have sort of a crescent. I have a couple of shawls existing that are sort of asymmetric and like a boomerang and a Linus shawl. And there is one that I did that is actually sort of like a crescent shape. It was a variation that I did off of one of Purple Iguana's shawls, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, thank you so much. A pineapple peacock shawl. You like my shirt, Jack? Well, actually, I made this shirt, believe it or not. Well, I didn't make it, but yeah, the print actually, I did make myself, in a sense. I used a... Excuse me for 1 moment. Sorry about that. Having issues here. So this shirt, actually, what I did was I used pardon me, 1 more moment. There we go. Shouldn't have any problem now, I hope. So at any rate, I want to get in focus here. Why am I having issues? Well, what else is new? There we go. Now I'm in focus. Yay! Back to what I was saying. What I did was I used a stencil and I laid it on top of this shirt, and then I spritzed a mixture of water and bleach on the shirt. I had it all flattened out, and then it started to take effect, and then I immediately washed it. And so that actually is the backside where it's not affected by the bleach. And it's a really, really easy technique. And I found the stencil and I thought it'd be fun, you know. And just keep in mind that you don't want to leave the bleach on there for too long, because if you do, it'll actually eat the fabric. And you don't want to use straight bleach either. You want to use a mixture of water and bleach. Otherwise, yeah, you'll destroy the fabric. Um, so yeah, it's fun. Actually, there's another shirt that I did uh, with the same technique as well. If you give me 1 second, I'll show you. I have it right over there. Give me 1 sec. Be right back. Woo! Okay. I was gonna wear this actually tonight, but I thought, this is another shirt that I did. Let me put it right side out. This I did with a black shirt and the same exact technique, and I absolutely love how it came out. And this time of year is perfect to find these stencils. And yeah, originally it was black. And so what I did was I found it was a laser cut wood piece, and I put that down on there. And then I also found some artificial leaves, and I put them all around as well. And the fact that it turns orange when it's bleached just worked perfectly. I'm like, oh, this is great for Halloween. There you go, or the fall, or what have you. Um, so yeah, this is one of my other creations as well, so to speak. Eh, it's I like to keep busy doing a lot of different things. So yeah, you too can do this. It's really, really quite easy. Just get, a t-shirt, some sort of stencil, and a little bit of bleach and water, and boom, you're good. Oh, and you put it in a spritz bottle, by the way. That's another thing. So yeah, you too can make yourself one of these as well. See, you even got a tutorial. You got a tutorial out of this already. There you go. Do I play games? I love playing video games. Yes, actually, I've been having a ton of fun with my game channel lately. So much fun. I mean, I always do. So on my other channel, Fiber Spider Games, um, I have been playing. Ugh, a nonce. What is a nonce? Are you a nonce? Harris Air. I don't know what a nonce is. Thank you so much, Bent. Thank you so much. I appreciate the donation. Thank you so much. A t-shirt channel. That'd be interesting. Well, the other channel that I've been really preoccupied with is the game I've been playing. It's called Unravel. And actually, I've been playing the second game of the series, Unravel 2. And you are this cute little guy named Yarny, and you have a little friend, and you're connected by a little umbilical of yarn, and you collaboratively try to solve puzzles together. It is so cute. The first one, Unravel Part 1, was adorable as well, but you're just one little Yarny. But in this one, you're two. And Jack, I do not play Fortnite because I am rubbish when it comes to anything sort of Hunger Games. And so, I mean, I know that a lot of people like Fortnite, but no, I just haven't gotten into Fortnite. I prefer playing alone with a lot of games. But with Unravel, it's so adorable, and the main character, he's made out of yarn, so it's perfect for me. And I finished playing the second game, and FIFA 19. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm really not into sports. I like adventure. I like RPG. I like survival horror. I like puzzle games. Um, what platform? Well, it's another YouTube channel, and I play with a PS4. Um, that's pretty much the only kind of game that I play because it's the only system I have. Um, and so who's he whatsies? So with Unravel, I finished the whole game, and I put up all of my episodes already. And so right now there are bonus challenge. You've asked for a PS4 for Christmas. I hope you get it because it's so much fun. It's a blast. Um, so I've been playing the bonus challenge levels, and I'm gonna post another video on Fiber Spider Games tonight for some of those bonus challenge levels. It's a lot of fun. Have I tried Rift? I'm not familiar with Rift, actually. However, I love Skyrim. Skyrim is a lot of fun. Um, and let's see. Wait, I just missed something. Well, Bint, I hope you check out my gaming channel because actually I do the same thing. When I'm stitching, I like to watch videos of other people playing video games. Why? I don't know. I just do. It's fun to have, it's sort of like having somebody else in the room and, they're conversing and so forth. It's a lot of fun. I have played a little bit of BioShock Wolf. However, I mean, I have the trilogy of games. However, I haven't done it yet on the channel. I plan to. Um, the other game that I did finish, it's called Detroit: Become Human, and that was a lot of fun. That one, it's sort of like if they made the movie Blade Runner into a video game. You are the androids, and it is a story-based game in which the choices that you make determine the outcome. And I played the whole game through, and it was a lot of fun. And uh, I will do BioShock. I will at some point. Um, so I played through the whole game and I ended up with a complete story. Now, here's the deal. Because you can end up with different outcomes, based on your choices and your actions, um, I might do Minecraft. It's possible. Um, so based on the actions, you have different results. So what I'm doing right now is what I call the Detroit Deja Vu. My own wordplay there. And so whatchamacallit, so I'm doing the Detroit Deja Vu. So I'm going through not all of the chapters again, but most of the momentous chapters again, and making deliberately different decisions. Bye, Jack. Thanks for joining. So I'm deliberately making different decisions, not necessarily good or bad, just different. Um, and so unfortunately, my first episode that I did for the Detroit Deja Vu didn't go so well, unfortunately. Um, Bye, Jack. Because there was a hostage situation, and the first time I played it, it ended relatively okay. This time, it did not end up okay at all. Do you spin my own yarn at all? Unfortunately, Kathy, I do not at the moment. I did try spinning my own yarn with a drop spindle and some wool. It didn't really work out that well, but I would love to get a spinning wheel. I would love, love, love to get a spinning wheel. Um, and somebody else just asked, what is my favorite yarn? I don't think I have a favorite. I know that I have yarns that are much more of my go-to. Um, actually, to Bint, I did do Animal Crossing for the Android. I did do a couple of videos for Animal Crossing, although I only have the PS4. Um, so you're catching up on Don't Starve. It is a cute game, Chris. I love Don't Starve. And I'm still alive. It's been like 60 something days and I'm still alive, believe it or not. Go figure. Um, so yeah, I really don't have, I would say, a favorite yarn, but I do have yarns that are a go-to. Um, and so, I mean, Red Heart Super Saver, it's really good if you need to do a really large project or if you're not sure how much yarn you're going to need because it doesn't have a dye lot. Um, for the hats that I like to Fair Isle, I love using Vanna's Choice because it has the right softness for me without being too fluffy. Um, Thank you, Jack. Very much appreciated. Um, so I do like Vanna's choice for when I'm Fair Isling, knit hats. Um, I have tried Red Heart Soft, which is okay. I like the texture, but it does split a little bit. Like Karen Simply Soft, it splits. It splits like a beast. I love the silky smooth texture of Karen Simply Soft, but the fact that it splits so much, it's a bit more aggravation than it's worth. So I try not to use that one too much. Of course, I love the Karen cakes naturally, whether it's Karen cakes or the Karen big cakes. Love, love, love. Those definitely. I mean, I love the Karen cakes. Actually, right now, I'm balling some yarn from a company called Ice. As always, not sponsored. You know this. This is actually called Angora Active. It's 75% acrylic and 25% Angora. The colorway is gorgeous. It is so soft. It's so soft. It's gorgeous. Um, but it's very, very fuzzy. So crocheting with it, not something I would do. However, I have been knitting with it. Um, and let me show you what I've been doing. I'm going to get myself situated here. Um, so I've been making this with the yarn, and I love how it's coming out. It is, I'm using needles that are like way too big, because I wanted to have a nice flow and a nice drape to it. I love the color changes. Um, and so, just the colorway, it almost makes me think of like almost like Navajo in a sense. Maybe I'm delusional. Um, but oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Harris. Um, so this, because it is so fuzzy, crocheting with it, it's a beast. So knitting with it though, it's a lot easier, I find. So I've been knitting with it. Um, and I've been working on a lot of different projects. Um, and hi Tracy. Yeah, it's straight knitting, just on circular needles, just going back and forth. It's going to be, I think, a wrap, a really wide scarf, if you will. I didn't want to do anything too complex with the yarn because it is, you can see how fuzzy it is. You know, it's molting. It's very, very fuzzy. So I didn't want to do something that was very, very complex. Um, I wanted to do something very simple and mindless, if you will, with this yarn, so that I could get used to how it works and everything. But it's a lot of fun, It's absolutely gorgeous. There's a ton of yardage. Let me see here. Um, Where's the yardage? Well, it says that it's 100 grams. Oh, it's 500 meters. Okay. And it is a weight of 2. And even though it's a weight of 2, yeah, I'm using size 10 needles. Um, um, so I don't know, I'm having fun with it. And then I'm also working on some projects using knitting with short rows as well. Um, and I want to experiment more with short rows because I have some plans and some ideas of what I'd like to do with that. Um, yes, bint it is. It can be a real nightmare working with the fuzzy yarns, especially crocheting because you can't see where the stitches are. It's like the yarn is mocking you, like, you can't find my stitches, haha, right? It's crazy. Um, so typically I don't work with the fuzzy yarns, but like I said, Red Heart Super Saver, it's sort of a inexpensive go-to. I used to work with Karen 1 pound a lot, but it's very dense. It's very coarse, it's very dense. Um, I mean, that would be great for like a really large Afghan, like a queen size Afghan. But as far as something that you're actually going to wear, no, I wouldn't recommend it. I like the yarn, but not for wearables. For a blanket, sure. For a rug, sure. For something that you're going to put on your head, no. Oh, have a great evening, Ellen. Um, so what else? Pound of Love. I love Pound of Love. I've used it for so many projects. I love the yardage. Um, and the colors, they've come a long way because it used to be with Pound of Love only pastels. And so if you wanted to make something for an adult, then you were kind of out of luck. But right now, it's like, yeah, they have. Um, I happen to have some right here. Go figure. I mean, this is Pound of Love, this color, and this is like a wine maroon color, and uh, they have a really nice dark green, the gray they've had for a while, a white, an off-white, a denim blue, a bright red. They've gotten smart, definitely. I mean, it wouldn't take them a whole lot of effort to make a whole rainbow of colors if they were smart about it. I mean, maybe we should do a petition. It's like, listen, give us some purple, you know? Give us a Kelly green. Give us something different, Um, Parfait layers. I have no idea what parfait layers is, Chandra. I'm sorry, I don't know. Um, so yeah, Pound of Love, absolutely love working with that. And also, of course, the Lion Brand ice cream, love that yarn. The colorways are gorgeous. It's super soft. Um, get a lot of yardage. So I mean, those are the yarns that I typically go to. Um, for a thicker yarn, for a bulky weight of 5, I like using, it's called Charisma by Loops and Threads, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and so I do like um, using that one as well if I need a thicker yarn. The colorways are gorgeous. It does tend to get a little frazzled when working with it. Like if you wash it, it gets a little ratty, to be honest. But initially, it looks great. I will say that. Unfortunately, there's so many yarns that do not wash well. What can you do? Um, let's see. As far as the vast majority of my yarns, where I get them from Michael's, typically, because I have a Michael's store like 10 minutes away. Very convenient. Very, very, very convenient. Um, and so it's like 10, 15 minutes away. So typically I go to Michael's. Walmart, I found, has a much better selection of Red Heart Super Saver, at least the one near me. The selection of Red Heart Super Saver completely blows Michael's out of the water as far as their color selection. Um, I do, Laura, I have lots of knitting videos. I have a playlist for it, starting with like very, very beginning projects to something that's more advanced. Um, so yeah, I also do get some yarn from Walmart from time to time if I need a more wider spectrum of colors for Red Heart Super Saver. I do go there. Also, they carry the mandala yarn, which I like as well. I mean, it's mandala yarn. It's basically the equivalent to Caron cakes, except it's a lot thinner. It's a lot thinner. Um, and so what else? And then sometimes I'll go to Joann's. That's another retailer. Although it's a bit of a distance for me. It's more of like 30, 45 minutes roughly. And I only go there when I'm in the area. They too, they have a fairly good selection. Um, and they usually have good coupons. Just, so does Michael's. They usually have some good coupons as well. Um, but well, I know what you mean about your Walmart stinking for yarn because not all Walmarts are created equal with their yarn department. I've been to some where it looks like a bomb hit it and the selection was shoddy and it was a complete mess. Fortunately, um, the one that I usually go to, the section is always so very tidy and orderly, and the yarn itself, great selection. I haven't no complaints. Hobby Lobby, you know what? I've never been to a Hobby Lobby before. I know that sounds probably like a sin to most of you. Never been to one of those. They only recently started opening up stores on Long Island, but they're very far. For me, they're very far. Uh, I don't go very far from home. I'm a homebody. You know, I go to work and I go home. I go to work, I go home. Um, so for me to go to a Hobby Lobby, that would be a real big trek. I mean, even if the prices are good, I would spend that on gas. You know, so I'm kind of disinclined unless if they get something closer to me in my county. Go figure. Um, so, what else? I don't know. You know, I've just been really busy with my various projects. Um, finishing up that one shawl. I mean, this shawl here, this one, this took me. I've been working on this one since. I mean, it's the summertime right now. I've been working on this one since this previous winter, but that's because I've been working on so many other projects in the interim. Um, the other one, this one, I did in like a few days. You know, and granted, this one's crocheted, so it takes a lot less time. But you know, I've been very, very busy with that. Um, I like to think I work fast, Tracy. um, do I have a favorite LYS? I do not know what an LYS is. I'm sorry. I don't know. Um, oh, local yarn store, if that's what that means, LYS. Um, whatchamacallit? I mean, generally, I would say Michael's just because of the proximity. They usually have good sales that rotate from week to week, and it's super close to me. What do I do with the stuff that I make? Well, Donnelly, I donate the vast majority of the items that I make. Uh, every, I want to say late fall, early winter, they do collect items, scarves, blankets, hats, shawls. Have I ever tried any of the looms? Yes, and I will get back to that. Remind me. Um, but yeah, I donate most of the items that I make. Um, my local library, they do a collection, late fall, early winter, and they collect items that are, you know, hand crocheted, knitted, you know, whether it's, you know, scarves, shawls, blankets, hats, you name it, they collect and I donate. And for me, it's a win-win because I get to make the projects for you guys to show you, and then somebody out there gets to be nice and warm and fuzzy. Um, do I make fingering yarn projects? Well, I mean, you know what? A lot of the projects that I do, you can use any weight of yarn. You know, it's just going to take you longer if you use the really thin yarn. Um, you know, like if you do a blanket with this yarn, it's going to take you a while. You know, if on the other hand you're doing a blanket with, you know, something that's a little bit thicker, like, you know, like this, less time. Um, so, oh, Nikki, thank you. You know, I just, you know, I like to give back to the community, you know, just like I like to give back to you guys when I do my giveaways. Granted, no, I'm not doing one today. I know, we're just chit-chatting. Um, but you know, I like to do my giveaways with you guys because I like to show you that I appreciate you guys too. And so I do my giveaways, um, sorry, my donations for the collection, and I end up with bins and bins and bins. Um, oh, thank you, Russ. You're so sweet. Um, I've been crocheting slash knitting for almost 20 years. Yeah. Almost. The better part of, because I started in my early 20s and I'm about to hit 40. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, "Oh, shut up. You're a baby." But it's like I'll be over the hill. I'll be middle-aged, you know. It's like don't mind me and my personal me. um um if you were to sell, how do you figure how much to sell for? Okay. Well, if I were to sell my items, typically I would put into account um, how much material it took and how much time it took and what was the difficulty like. You know, difficulty for me is a part of the price. Like if it was a really, really, really simple project, like, you know, a double crocheted afghan, just double crochets, no pattern variations. I don't look older than 21. No, I'm 39. Thank you, so sweet. You're very sweet, Nikki. Oh, thank you. um but whatchamacallit, Nikki, you got me. Am I blushing a lot? Am I bright red? Am I contrasting with my shirt too much? Oh man. Um, oh, what was I saying? You threw me. You threw me for a loop. So yeah, I try to put into consideration all the different factors. Like if it was just a double crocheted blanket, it's not going to be terribly expensive because it's so simple and mindless. Basically, for that, it would just be for the time and for the material. So figure however much you spent on the materials. You know, say you spent, I don't know, $20 in materials. Well, then you know what? Double it. So it's like at least $40, at least. You know, if it's like a blanket and you spent like $20 in materials, um, then I would say, you know, put in your time. So it's like, you know, at least double what you put into materials. You know, if it's a really, really complicated pattern, something that's very intricate, then I would say definitely charge more. Um, you know, like for instance, if you were doing a blanket that is, you know, Fair Isle knit and double layered, and you're using, you know, fingering weight yarn, I would say, you know what, charge charge a ton, you know. Um, Donnelly, I don't live stream every Friday, but when I do live stream, typically it is on Friday at 9 p.m. ish Eastern time. Typically this is when I do because I typically do not work on Friday nights. Um, you know, so if I ever do live stream, this is the time to do it. Friday night, you know, I mean, I don't really have a social life other than this, which is great, you know, because, you know, how else could I fit, you know, over 100 people in my room? You know, there's 108 people watching right now. How else could I fit 108 people in my room right now? Hmm? Think about that. You know, this is great. Um, what do I do? If you mean by work, I work in a library, which for me is great because I'm a bookworm and I have been a bookworm since I was 3 when I learned how to read. Um, and 3 times the material cost. Well, you know what? If people are willing to pay, see, that's another thing. Um, it depends on um, what people are actually willing to pay for your products. I've been to craft fairs where I was doing the vending thing, and I was selling knitted and crocheted hats and scarves for $10 each, and they were not selling. No joke. It was very, 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 very discouraging. Um, so I stopped doing. Um, Sadly, it's the best place to die in the game of Clue. Ah, that's funny. Um, so yeah, I mean, I was trying to sell like Fair Isle knitted hats for $10, and they weren't going. So it was a bit of a smack in the face, to be perfectly honest. Um, so I just stopped, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to try to sell them to in my opinion, I'm not going to try to sell them to an ungrateful audience. No, I'm going to donate them to somebody who really can make use of them and appreciate them and be decked out with something nice. And, it'll keep them warm, and they need it. They need it more than I do. Definitely. I mean, how many scarves do I need? Really? One. And I only have one head, so I only need one hat. So there you go. So, you know, um, I mean, also the thing is, the other problem with craft fairs is that typically, yes, you have to pay a fine, not a fine, but you have to pay a fee in order to get a table space. And often you have to bring your own table. And so, you have to make that money back. I mean, I've done fairs where the fee for having a table was really cheap, others where it's really expensive. And then you have to make that money back and then make a profit on top of that. Otherwise, you're losing money. And I've seen that happen before with people who had really beautiful stuff, but nobody was interested. And it can be very frustrating. Also, if you are going to if you ever are going to sell at a craft fair, I would strongly suggest having a variety, not just of the kinds of projects, but also the colorways. I noticed myself that I typically would use earth tones and greens and browns and that sort of thing. And so I'm like, I looked at all of my projects and they were all like the same color. And that's not very appealing. So I also started branching out into different colors. Um, different types of colors that I wouldn't normally use, fuchsia and chartreuse and, just like different colors to have more of a variety going on. Also, it's important, I found, to have a variety of different items. So not only was I doing hats and scarves and fingerless gloves and blankets, but also to appeal to the younger audience, I was also crocheting amigurumi toys. Those were a big hit. Those were a very, very big hit. Amigurumi, little stuffed animal toys. They're very quick to make. They're very simple. Um, and the thing is that like a lot of kids do go to craft fairs with their families, and that I hate to sound like this, but it's almost a great way to snag a customer because it's an impulse buy. It's like, oh, I want that toy, and so I did get a lot of business making small cute amigurumi toys, um, but also making them inexpensive. Something more complex, sure, make it $20, but something small like a little sort of yellow shaped ball with like an emoji face on it, $5. Really, just something simple. It's good to have a good price range too. You don't want to have a ton of stuff that is 20, 50 some odd dollars. Have a good price range, definitely. Um, you know, things that are as cheap as $5 and then upwards of 50 to $100. If the lowest price of any item you have is, say, if the lowest price item that you have is like $20, $30, people are just going to keep walking by. you know um, what can you do? um, Finished a ball, woohoo. um, it's good to have a wide variety. I also would sell jewelry that I handmade. I haven't done any jewelry making since I started this channel, really. Um, and I had um, a lot of bracelets, necklaces. I used to make my own beads out of polymer clay. I used to make my own chainmail items. I would take German style wire, wrap it around a mandrel, which is basically a steel rod, and I would basically create a spring and then cut the spring into rings, into jump rings, and then with two pairs of pliers, open each one, close it, and link them together to make a chain. I would actually do that. I have severe, weird OCD like that. And so I used to actually make my own chainmail jewelry. Earrings. Used to make a ton of earrings. For those, I would sell them at $5 each. Again, impulse items. It's good to have impulse items. Um, and so yeah, I mean, I would sell earrings $5 a pop, and those went pretty well. You know, those definitely went well. See, that's the thing. I had a good variety between knitted and crocheted, and then I had some jewelry items. So there was variety. Um, your son used to make chainmail. That's cool. Um, it can be tricky, you know. I mean, I use the German style wire, which is basically copper wire that's been plated. If you're using, say, stainless steel, that's hard to work with. So I worked with the copper. I would not suggest using, aluminum. No. Um, Made a pair of gauntlets. That's cool. Um, so it's good to have, a wide spectrum and a wide variety of different projects that you're selling, good range of price points and so forth. Um, be appealing, be diversified. Don't pigeonhole yourself. If you have an entire table filled with just scarves, well, you're going to have to find somebody who just wants a scarf. So you may make out like a bandit, but it's good to have a wide variety. Um, you've learned more in the last 40 minutes? Wow. I guess I did a good service. Thank you. So let's see. Do I have any videos that teach how to crochet with beads? No, not at the moment. Typically, I don't. There's two light bulbs that are out in that lamp behind you. I turned them off so that you wouldn't get blinded, actually. Um, the glare can be a bit much when the light bulbs are out. Um, but, I haven't done any crocheting with beads. You can also crochet with fine wire and make jewelry. That is another thing that you can do. You can also spool knit with wire, fine wire. Um, am I sure? Yes, I'm sure. Because if I turn this on, it's a bit blinding. So I keep that off. um, Watermelon hats with beads. That sounds cute. That sounds very cute. Western Australia. Oh, hello, hello. Um, so yeah, you just got one of your mayors a dope haircut. Hey, Cindy. So yeah, so I have, one tutorial. It's going to go up tonight. And I have another one that I still have to film for this weekend. I hope to get it done, hopefully at some point soon, in spite of my poor little tripod now is a bipod. And fortunately, the tape has held up. Thank goodness. And for those of you that donated tonight with Super Chat, thank you so very much. It will definitely help. Um, Actually, I think they are LED bulbs. Yeah, thank you very much for donating to the Super Chat tonight, because it will help pay for my new tripod. Thank you so much. Um, you know, let's see, try to make sure you get thread and bead needle. Yeah, bead needles, those are cool to have too, by the way, Nicole. Yeah. Um, my Facebook page is Fiber Spider. It's the same. Um, uh, Same thing with on Instagram. I'm also Fiber Spider on there. I don't post on there that much, nor do I on Facebook. Although mostly what I do on Facebook is private messenger. Like if you want to ask me a specific question and not post it in the comments section, that's typically what I use Facebook for. Just chit-chatting privately. Same thing with Instagram. I don't post a lot of things on there either. I have, but I haven't lately. But for like a private message, that's what I do. At any rate. So yeah, if you ever want to show me pictures of your work, you could always, message me and do it that way. So, at any rate, without further ado, I think I'm going to turn in for the night. I'm pooped. But it was so great talking to you guys. Thank you so very much for joining me tonight. And thank you again for those of you that donated. I appreciate it so very, very much. Very, very, very much. And So until my next video, I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. And thank you again for joining me. It's been fun, you know, and I know I can't do the live streams absolutely every Friday night, but, you know, I try to. So good night, everybody. I hope you have a fabulous rest of the evening, and I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye for now.